All right, so we did our first win form here. Let's do another one here. Let's see if we can't get the MAUI one working. So a .NET MAUI app. See if we can get this working. So this is MAUI app 1. Let's go for it. I like the name. Again, runs on the .NET Core stuff, which is cool. And when we start off here, it gives you like, hey, do you want to learn how to do this? Here's your beginner videos, because it's still relatively fresh. Now this one's going to be a little slower as well for us because it does a couple more things. So the first thing we see, right, the MAUI program CIS does some stuff. But basically it's starting here, building this out, adding fonts, sure. Some if debug commands, ooh, that's fun, and then builds. But again, this is the starting point for it here. Where we're actually running then is our main page.xaml. So for new, that's fun. Now, this is all done using XML or XAML. This, I forget what the A is, enhanced. Nope, that's with an E. What does XAML stand for? I can't talk. Extensible Application Markup Language. Sure. So we can see all the things here are defined in XML, essentially here. But similar idea is when we click in them, we get to see all of our list of properties and things here. And then you can pick different targets. When you run debug now, so this will run it in as a Windows app, you can pick different devices. The emulators can be a little slow, but then you can see what would it look like on an Android device. I haven't actually tried this lately. It might not even be installed right now. I think you have to go and install emulators here. Well, let's see what happens if I try it. I'm curious now. Hey, yeah, do I want to accept some licenses? Probably do. Android Device Manager. Create an Android device? Sure, why not? There's a Pixel 5. So I'll have a Pixel 5 emulator. We should be able to launch this MAUI app on. And we can give it a shot. Probably shouldn't have downloaded the 1 gig device. We'll come back to that. Let's go back to Windows. We'll see what it looks like in Windows land. Now the idea, because this is cross-platform, is things need to be flexible. So that idea of it being a static layout, oh goodness. Oh, how do you turn on developer mode? Okay, there we go. Let me turn on developer mode. I got this laptop new. So Windows 10 and 11 have a cool developer mode setting. Yes, let's turn it on. Let's try it again. And the new stuff uses that developer mode. Look at that. So just out of box here, we're at 58 meg, 60 meg, 69, 70, 75, 855 meg to run a little Hello World app. 163. But it's cross-platform and it's cute. Look, they even got a little icon. You click me. Clicked. And it's a little counter for your clicks. But it ran, right? And it's fun. Notice it's made to flow. Right? This idea, you want to have flexible layouts, not a, hey, this is 327 pixels away from the top left, because all of our different devices have different sizes. So modern apps are built to be flexible like that. You know, the basic easy WinForm stuff, we just don't care right now. We just, sure, the user can put it on their screen, but ideally, if it's going to run on different devices here, I need to support, you know, a mobile device that's long like this. I need to have tablet mode. I need to have window. So those sorts of things with these flexible layouts are really fun. We can do it that way. Let's see. Is this done yet? We're halfway done. I don't think I can do iOS. I don't know if I can do an iOS simulator. I feel like I didn't have the right stuff for that last time I tried. But the downside is we don't get the nice little drag and drop view. But because it's sort of a flowing layout, there's not really things to drag and drop, right? Because they're going to be in different places here. So you put them in this scroll view in a vertical stack, and things will just stack vertically now. So everything we put in here, we can add items. There's labels here. We see all their properties. We see buttons. They all go into the vertical stack here, right? And then what happens, right? This clicked event is the on counter clicked. So if we open this one up here, we can see the code behind. On counter clicked here takes the count. So this class here has a class level attribute for count. So it's initialized when this main page gets loaded. So you can throw things in at the class level and they're available in all of the methods. So if you're going to have more than one event handler, or you want it to exist outside of the event handler because you want to store that information, we define it here. We can do the same with our WinForms, right? And then it just starts doing this here. It's very cute. They added the S as well here. They don't have curly braces, which makes me sad, but that's okay. It's not my sample code. We'll live with it. The semantic screen reader. Am I missing wow. I wonder if my volume's not right or something. It sounds like it should be talking. That's fun. I don't know. Or maybe if you've turned on a screen reader, maybe that triggers it. I don't actually know what that one does.
Probably for ADA.
If you turn, which is super cool that it's built in and easy to do this stuff now, which is fun. They had one of their developers in their AI unit did a demo. Did I say this last week when they were showing accessibility updates to Visual Studio? He's blind, and he did a little Hello World demo, and everyone's like, "Yay, the blind guy can code!" And he's like, "I'm a senior AI developer." I felt a little bad for him, like doing this little demo, but it was fun. Like now, Visual Studio in the debug section of variables, you can use screen readers, which is a huge improvement for him, which was cool. They had some fun features there. All right, we're almost there. 5. Okay, let's start our emulator. Sure, run anyway. Let's see what that does. Let's go back to our Android emulator. Pixel 5. All right, so here's our little Android emulated device. Come on. And let's see if it'll launch. Just thinking about it. Maybe I have to turn it on first. Come on. Oh, can't be started. Okay. Failed to start. We've got our emulators having trouble. Come on. Try one more time to start. See if it starts for us. If not, we can give up. It's not that important. It's just fun. Let's try the power button. Hold the power button. Come on, Android emulator. Really? All right, it's not going to cooperate right now. That's okay. Not super worth the time. I imagine probably after a reboot or turning on the Hyper-V thing like it wanted me to, it would probably work. But let's see. Oh, deployment errors continue. No, what was the error? It failed. Cannot be started. Is that why? I'm going to try one more time. Super curious. Could not. Cold boot. Can't even see what that even says. That's a lovely error. Oh, there we go. It's more progress than last time. Second time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Totally worth it, so we can click the button, right, and watch it count our clicks. It's doing something. Think you can watch YouTube on this? If the emulator works? I want to slow it down even more. Just thinking about it. Look at this, it like packed out all sorts of cool jar stuff. Is it doing it? There it goes. Still doing things. The Microsoft JDK 11. Cool. Using the Java development kit here. Here's our little application pack. It's almost there. It's usually faster the second time. Found device. This is thrilling. And cross-platform stuff is hard, so it's pretty cool. They're putting a lot of resources into making stuff work cross-platform. I don't know if anyone's actually adopted it yet, but come on. Hey, it's loading. Hello world, we did it. Click me. Click, 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 click. And it's running in debug mode too. I can even put a breakpoint in here. And when I click it, I get debugging my C# app running on an Android emulator. We're really living in 2024. Like, tell someone this 5 years ago, they wouldn't have believed you. So, all right. Anyway, so we'll just continue. We can keep on running here.
What happens if you rotate the screen?
Where's my rotate here?
It's not responsive.
That does not. No, it's stuck in the vertical. That's interesting. We're upside down now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wrong way, wrong way. There we go. Yay. All right, so we got it running there. Super exciting. So that's the MAUI stuff, which is pretty cool. And you can build this, you should be able to run it on non-Windows devices as well with the alternative tool sets, which is cool. Right? So like build .NET MAUI on Mac. Right? You can do all the cool stuff you want here and actually run your iOS simulators on Mac land, right? Which I think will probably work a little better for you here with VS Code as well. So they got all sorts of cool things there. So if you want to play with it on Macs and not have to install Visual Studio or do any sort of emulators over to Windows, go for it. Give it a try. So you're welcome to try this if you want for the next project. I assume everyone's going to do the WinForms, but if you're on a Mac, you can't do WinForms. So either you're going to find a PC to use or give this a shot. Is that reasonable? All right. Cool. So that's that one. So the next one we're going to look at then, let me commit this here. So this is our MAUI works. It's sort of amazing. The XAML version here. So this is our blank app, the Universal Windows platform here. And this runs on Xbox, which is fun. The idea was a universal Windows platform was going to work on Windows phones and on like the HoloLens device and other Windows platforms. Don't think that whole dream panned out here, but pieces of it still work here. They're still pushing hard to make the Xbox your entertainment console, and you can do all sorts of, you can run apps on the Xbox. So you can use Xbox to watch your Netflix instead of your smart TV. But like every TV is a smart TV now, it has Netflix already, so I don't know how necessary that is. All right, so this is XAML app 1. We'll give it a try.
What does XAML stand for?
We looked this one up here and I forgot already. XML, but yeah, extensible application markup language. Thank you. It's going to have to go. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I still had my tab open. This one gets fun because it's specific to Windows build versions. So Windows platforms have target versions and minimum versions here. We don't really need many of the cool things in the newer versions. We're not doing anything that interesting. It doesn't really matter which one is our minimum here for us, for our purposes. You can look at which one should we choose, but we're probably fine. Just pick whatever. Usually defaults are pretty good here. And again, you get a nice, hey, getting started. You want to learn some cool stuff? See fun things you can do? They're big on taking these apps to the Microsoft Store. So doing native Microsoft apps with the Microsoft Store is really easy to do with the UWP stuff. So if that's the thing that's interesting to you, they've got all sorts of tools you can publish to the Microsoft Store. I'm going to close these doors real quick here, sorry. Release that one. And then if you want to be one of the free to play but supported with ads, you can monetize your app. You put some ads in your app and do all sorts of fun stuff with that. So go for it. Have some fun. But what we're going to see, again, it's going to be very similar to what we saw with MAUI. Here's my little arrow there. We have our main page.xaml. Now with this one though, we get a designer view and a code view and the debug. It's like you got 3 different windows going on here. It's a little bit nuts here. When you're doing Universal Windows Platform development here, they say you could pick a given target for where you want to put this thing here. Again, we've got phones and some vestiges of some old stuff here. You can target the Surface Hub if people want to run your app on their Surface Hub, which is fun. IoT devices, HoloLens. We actually do have a HoloLens, the first generation one, out in the game lab we got to play with. We got the tutorials up and running, and that was as far as we got with it. But if you ever want to play with it, it's out there. But I'll just leave it a Surface Book. This is probably fine for, it's expecting a 3000 by 2000 pixel screen scaled at 200%. So the sizing gets a little weird here. When we get to Xbox, we'll switch things over to running it for Xbox with different pixel sizing, that sort of thing here. We just target different ones. But essentially we do the same thing. I can take a button and drag it in. It's real small here, so I'm going to pin some of these things down here. Now, I don't really need the XAML view right now, but it shows you what it's doing, and you can mix and match. You can write stuff in XAML directly, or you can use the designer view, whichever one you really want here. So let me zoom this in a little more here so I can actually see stuff here. And you drag and drop it around. So here's my button, and then it looks a little bit nicer the way it organizes its properties here. Slightly prettier looking here. So I can go change, oh my goodness, where is it here? The content now. It's not the text of it, it's content. I don't know why. Click me. But someone changed it here, so they did that. Click me, I double click on it, I get my button was clicked here. What do I want to do? Well, I don't have my label yet, so let's drag a label in. Let's do, goodness, it's not label anymore, is it? Why? They changed the name. Text, I think it's text block. So text box is when you type in. Text block is like a label, just text there that shows on the screen. And I don't know why they changed it. I'm sorry. So we'll take the text out here, and now the name, we need to give it a name. So here's my text block, or click me text block or something. Click me text block. Sure. I have a click me text block. So when I click it here, I'm going to go to the click me text block. Set the text property to hello world, or hello XAML world, or UWP, or I don't know, whatever we want to call it here. We'll do something fun. XAML world. And we'll see if this one runs. Got to do hello world first. Again, a lot of it's pretty similar, right? It is a page now instead of a form, but it inherits and gets all these cool things. This one only needs 72 meg, sorry, of memory to run, and then I can click me and I get hello world. What's fun is this is a little more native to Windows, so notice it showed up in dark mode automatically for me because my device is set for dark mode. So it sort of respects some of those platform things, which is cool, right? Instead of the WinForm blinding you with the gray screen. So that's all. We can do all these things here, which is really fun. And then you can also get to the code behind if you want, but where does it? It puts it somewhere else. It's harder to find the code behind here. I think you do. Where is it? View designer, view code? No, you can't even see it now, can you? There's the designer. We might not be able to see any of that because it's all done here in XAML essentially, and it's parsed out of this. So we don't really need any of that stuff. Right? You never really touch the designer code anyway, but you can go edit it all here in the XAML view if you want here on this side, which is fun. So 3 different hello worlds, right? We did a little more with the WinForms. We'll do the UWP stuff. We'll do this more later. It's a little slower, a little bit more of a hog. If you want to start it now instead of WinForms, that's great. If you just want to do the basic WinForms, that's cool too. More of the existing apps are going to be built on WinForms. I think we talked a little bit over break. We were trying to find examples of stuff built in WinForms. There's lots of enterprise software built on WinForms because it's quick and easy for developers to build stuff in WinForms. Right? You just drag and drop it around the screen. It does all sorts of cool stuff. And it's really hard as an IT division to say, I want to spend a bunch of money to pay a developer to write software that literally does nothing new. You're like, hey, I'm going to rewrite it in a new language, or I'm going to use the latest and greatest stuff, and the business will look at you like you're burning money. You're like, I have working software. Why would I pay you to write new software that you might even introduce bugs, right? Like, it works now. If you rewrite it, you could screw it up. It's risky to do that sort of thing. So we call that technical debt. You just sort of build up your technical debt year after year after year after year, and eventually it will just no longer be supported at some point. That's why a while back, you folks probably don't remember, the ATM machines, for some reason, love running Windows XP. I don't know why someone decided that was the great operating system to run ATMs, not ATM machines, sorry, ATMs. The M is already stands for machine there. But when Microsoft said we're going to stop supporting Windows XP, a little cottage industry was born to support Windows XP on ATMs. I don't know why. This was a couple years ago. I don't know if they're still doing that. Let me see. How many ATMs use Windows XP? Let's see if we can get some hits here. When was this article? When was this from? 2014. Oh, goodness. That's really old. No one wants your notifications. Why do they even ask? So 200,000 of them at one point here. Could coast between? Wow, where? Is that really like a quote? You're going to coast? All right, I worry about that now. 95% of them, 2014. Where's like newer things? Is it news? Is that where I get new?
Maybe upgraded.
They probably did at some point. I mean, I remember my bank still had Windows XP. Last time I saw one rebooting here. Okay, that's fine. So it's expensive to replace software. It is. That's the whole moral of the story. So working software is great. Businesses love it because they paid for it and they don't have to pay more money for it. COBOL happens to be an interesting language here. Job postings. This one's fun. So COBOL is super old and has been around forever. Let's see what kind of jobs we can find for COBOL. Mainframe COBOL programmer. Is there no salary? Come on. I want to find salaries. Mainframe developer, $48 to $62 an hour estimated pay. That was not very much for the IRS. IRS wants someone who can do COBOL. They're not going to pay you very much because they're the government. $45 to $58 an hour. So up to 71. So this stuff has been around for a long time and it's really expensive to replace. So banks were notorious for this. Our unemployment system, back when COVID hit and everything shut down, a lot of people got unemployed, couldn't handle it, and states were scrambling to find people who knew COBOL to maintain and keep their systems up and running, because the state's not going to budget a bunch of money to replace working software. So anyway, that was a fun story. All right, so that was that one. Let's go back to the WinForms version here. Let me go, what was this one? Where's my recent list? Oh, close solution. Windows Forms app. All right, so we don't need the designer code. Design view, come on. Still loading. And this one's not even the fastest, and they only get slower from here, but that's okay. All right. I think that's about all we needed in here, right? Yeah, all sorts of fun things we can do, but I think this was pretty good. We okay? All right, so this was just a demo. So the next exercise then, the next project, is we're going to repeat project 0 with a form. Whatever GUI you want to use, go for it. We can even use the same repository. I think that's probably easiest here. So we'll just copy paste this, and we'll make a new one here. Call this project 1. So this is our tax avoidance game Redux. Let's use the same repository. Project 0. URL. Game with a.
How would we use the same project if, or are you just talking about the project in GitHub,
So-
or actually in an actual Visual
So
Studio?
the repository is just the folder. So you can just make a new project in that same project 0 folder. That way all your codes, like you're not gonna have to copy, like, I think it's easier to do it this way instead of making a new one. Maybe we'll just make a new one, sorry. That's probably easiest. It'll take me just 1 second. We'll make a new one here. All right, this will keep it separate, and this is good. CIS 29, project 1. I don't think I have the C#. Oh, I do have a C#. Good. Okay. Someone had mentioned that it seemed funny. With UI. All right. Is that link? There it goes. Okay. So same idea here, but with buttons and things to click on. All right. And then can we do this one? What are we going to do next week? We're going to do classes next week. Can we do it for a week? Again, this should be like an hour's worth of work. If it's taking you more than an hour, just stop, okay? It's just an exercise. You just want to get practicing with some of this stuff. So you can say we've done it, okay? Nope. Zeros, come on.
I have a question about the original requirements on that. So it mentioned something about calculating the taxes of each bracket.
Yeah.
But didn't mention that they need to be displayed. Do you actually want us to display?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so like I did for the example one. If you didn't, that's okay. Sorry, yeah, so I guess you have to calculate each bracket to figure out the total, because otherwise the math gets a little bit weird. But yeah, if you can display them, great. If not, it's not the end of the world.
I was just very liberal. I saw it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I only need to display those three.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I only said display 3, so that's fair. Again, this is mostly like an effort-based thing. Just give it the old college try. You'll probably hit, right? This is not complex things. So we're just getting some practice in. The next time we'll actually do something a little bit more interesting. We start working with classes. We'll build an actual game here. We'll have some fun. If you're familiar with Texas Hold'em, we can play some poker, and that's a lot of fun. And it's not as hard as you think, because like you can ask ChatGPT for how do you figure out which hand wins, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So we're just going to do the fun stuff. Okay? All right, so I think we can call it a night, actually. That went a little quicker than I thought, so thanks for coming. We can hang out for a while if you want and get started. I can answer questions, or we'll just head out and have a good weekend.